When it comes to Broncos quarterback Bo Nix, do we get a better Bo in year number 2? Or is there reason to worry about a sophomore slump? I'm going to tell you why I think it's the former coming up next. So what kind of Bo Nix can Broncos country expect in year number 2 after a really, really good rookie season where he was a finalist for Offensive Rookie of the Year? Obviously didn't win that. It went to Jaden Daniels, and he then carried his team to the NFC Championship game. So I don't think it's any harm in losing a guy like Jaden Daniels. So let me tell you what he did in his rookie year. A 66.3% completion percentage, 3,775 yards, 28 touchdowns to 12 interceptions, added 4 more rushing touchdowns to get to a total of 32. That's a pretty dang good rookie season, especially from the 6th quarterback off the board that everybody thought was a bust. Y'all been quiet for the last year or so. So what does the sophomore season bring? And why do I think it's going to be better than his rookie season and there won't be any slumps? We'll have a couple reasons for that. What we did on the radio show last year, we talked about struggle, improve, excel. And that's exactly what Bo Nix did. He really struggled the first 4 weeks of the season, 5 weeks of the season, if you want to go that far into it. Then he improved, and there were moments throughout the season where he was excelling at his job, quarterback of the Denver Broncos. There's still going to be moments of struggle. Nobody's perfect, and that's the toughest position to play in any sport, quarterback. But I think this year is more about improve, excel. The struggle is in the rearview mirror. So those numbers I just rattled off, I believe those jump up. Here's my projected numbers for Bo Nix in 2025. Completion percentage goes up to 67.5%. That's elite stuff. That's top 10 quarterback stuff if you're going to be getting into the 67, 68% completion percentage. I believe that's where Bo goes. He's efficient, man. That's all the dude does is complete passes and make the right football play. Yardage-wise, let's bump that up about 300 yards from a year ago. In fact, 325 to be specific, to 4,100. So he goes from 3,775 to 4,100. The 28 touchdowns, I'm only going up 2 there. 30 passing touchdowns. I'm going to bring his interception number down 2 as well. 10 interceptions. And I'm going to keep those same 4 rushing touchdowns for Bo Nix. So what would the record be if I told you Bo Nix had a 67.5% completion percentage? He threw for 4,100 yards, 30 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, and added 4 more on the ground. So 34-10 is the touchdown to interception ratio if you include the rushing touchdowns. What does that equal for wins? How much respect does that put on Bo Nix, Sean Payton, the fit, the Denver Broncos, fully being back to a legitimate Super Bowl contender? Would that do it, or would he have to do more? Well, I can give you some more and reasons why I think he's going to achieve those numbers. You know what Bo Nix is going to have for the first time since he was in high school this year with the Denver Broncos? He's going to have the returning play caller, that's Sean Payton, and the returning quarterback coach, that's Davis Webb. That's short-lived. I think Davis Webb is on a fast track to either being a play caller as soon as next year or a head coach in a few years from right now. But you got to capitalize on what's happening right now. Think about that as a football life. Think about what you do for work. You go to a new job, there's different terminology. They do it different on the computers. Your PTS reports, is that even a thing anymore? They look different, whatever it is you do, right? You got to learn the new process, the new system, the new terminology, everything that comes with a new gig. Bo has had to do that every single year of his football life since he's been in high school. He doesn't have to do that anymore. That's why all the reports coming out of OTAs the last couple of weeks is like, dang, Bo looks comfortable. Bo looks in command. Bo looks in control of this Broncos team, and he's doing so in just year number 2. You know why? Because he's not drinking from a fire hose trying to figure out what the heck Sean Payton wants to do on 3rd down in October and November. He already knows. Now it's just about adding on to the plate of Bo Nix, opening up that Sean Payton playbook all that much more. That cannot be overlooked, and it's going to go a very, very long way. You know what else Bo's got working for him? Continuity, not just from the coaching staff, but his roster. You're returning every wide receiver. In fact, you added Pat Bryant in the draft this year, who a lot of people are high on. If you watch Dover on Denver regularly, you know I'm very high on him. I think Pat Bryant's going to make a lot of noise in a Broncos uniform as a rookie. Let's add R.J. Harvey to that mix too. a running back that was handpicked by Sean Payton. Seems like he's going to give him a lot of ramp and runway to develop into RB1 as RJ for the Denver Broncos. How about Marvin Mims in year 3? Look at the jump that I like calling him Marv, like we're best buds, that Marv made from year 1 to year 2. What's that jump going to be from year 2 to year 3? And if we want to use that same Mims blueprint, what's Troy Franklin going to look like in year 2? What's Devon Vele going to look like in year 2? I got to give a hat tip to the fellows over on The Drive, over on 104.3 The Fan. They're the show right after Cecil and I. They had the conversation about Devon Vele. I didn't even realize this. Do you know that Devon Vele just had the second best season from a 7th round wide receiver in about 25 years? And by the way, the first one was Marcus Colston, another Sean Payton guy. That's how good Devon Vele is as a 7th rounder. And now he's going to have a second year of experience. I've heard from a couple people that got to be down there and watch practices. He's also learned how to run some routes. So like the Happy Gilmore, right? Ooh, Happy learned how to putt. Ooh, Vele learned how to run routes. That's going to be nightmare fuel for opposing cornerbacks. So you add all that together. The fact that Bo is going to get better because continuity is there between coaches and players. Bo's just a football junkie. Ball is ball for Bo Nix, right? Aaron Rodgers was in the news last week because he finally decided to choose the Pittsburgh Steelers and join Pittsburgh. You think Aaron Rodgers is 100% focused on football? The answer is no to that. Bo Nix, 100% focused on football. That's working in his advantage as well. I think those numbers go up. As I mentioned, sophomore slump for Bo Nix? I don't think so. I don't think Jaden Daniels is going to have one either. And I think those are the 2 best quarterbacks coming from the class that they were a part of. And yes, that's better than Caleb Williams. Yes, that's better than Drake May. Certainly better than J.J. McCarthy. Michael Penix Jr. I like, but I think both of those guys are better. R.J. Harvey, mentioned Pat Bryant. You know who I haven't mentioned? How about Evan Ingram? The Broncos haven't had a tight end in 10 years. Bo hasn't had one as an NFL player because he had to deal with Adam Troutman. Nate Atkins were his best options last year at tight end. Now you have Evan Ingram. I know he's supposed to be this joker guy. And I just talked about Bo's projected stats. If your projected stats from Evan Ingram are 900 to 1,000 yards, I think you're going to be disappointed on that. But if your projected stats for Evan Ingram are 600-700 yards and 4 to 6, 7 touchdowns, well, you're going to hit those marks. And that'll be the best tight end season for the Denver Broncos since what? Owen Daniels was around, since Julius Thomas was around. So you have running back production. That's got to be proven. So I'll cross my fingers on that. You have wide receiver production. You know, him and Sutton have the chemistry. Him and Marvin started to show that last year. And heck, you want to go to the Buffalo Bills playoff game. The one good moment was Bo to Franklin to take an early 7-0 lead. And Devon Vele just had the second best season from a 7th round wide receiver in 25 years. That, the tight end coming, running back room, continuity between the coaches. If you're thinking Bo Nix is going to have a sophomore slump, what the heck are you on here on a Monday? I don't think it's possible. If you disagree, tell me in the comments. Circle back and let me know. While you're there, like, subscribe, comment on all the other videos. You know how it goes here on the YouTube. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Joshua Dover. I'll try to circle back always and talk to you guys there in the comments. But I got to be honest. I think you're kind of crazy. I think you're tripping a little bit if you think Bo Nix is going to have a sophomore slump. This has been Dover on Denver, and now I'm done.